your microphones right there. You've been carrying Richard all your life. Folks, it is really a rare occasion to have two NASCAR Hall of Famers sitting up here at the same time. Guys, we've got a couple of questions that some people have asked, and then we'll try to freehand it here a little bit. The first question that we had come up was from LaDonna, and she said, Richard, we know you've had a lot of great race memories. This is actually for both of you. But what would you say is the most memorable thing that's happened to you since you've been racing?
Surviving. With him working on the car.
Dale, did he make it easy for you with the car?
I don't know. We got along pretty good, but what really tears me up right now, he said he won 400 races, hasn't been without me, and I can't prove him wrong, so I guess he knows what he's talking about.
It doesn't cost anything.
Well, anybody who knows anything about racing knows that Richard does hold a record at 200 races. But I think one of the things that Richard often says, how many did you lose, Richard?
No comment. You look at, I've won more races than any NASCAR driver ever. I've lost more races than any NASCAR driver. So I got both ends of the record, and very few people got both ends of any record.
Absolutely. I think anybody'd love to have both ends of that record. Billy asked, Richard, what motivated you to start racing? What was your motivation?
I grew up around racing. I started racing in 1941 when I was like 11, 12 years old. And the race car was in the backyard. So, we lived out in the country, all the guys around us, farming, working on the backer, had cows and milk cows. We had a race car in our backyard. So, really, I grew up around racing and didn't know anything else. So, when I got old enough, then it was just an automatic. When Dad had been a farmer, I was probably a farmer. But he was a racer, so I couldn't have been a racer.
Dale, he made much of a farmer.
My theory on him driving for a living is too lazy to work, so that's what I think.
All right, which track has been your favorite track to go to over the years?
Well, probably Daytona's been the best for us. 7 wins down there in the 500, 3 or 4 in the 400, but you really didn't want to pick good ones and bad ones, because if you picked a bad one, then you showed up and you was already behind, you know what I mean? So if it's on the schedule, you go run and enjoy it, but Daytona's probably
The Xfinity Series cars started looking more like the cars on the street. Do you think there's any chance that the Cup cars will start looking more like the ones on the street?
Well, definitely. Last year they changed the Cup cars and stuff, and they're going to look more and more over a period of time. And look, from the outside, it's going to look softer anyway. But it's hard to take these cars that's got a little bit of short hoods and motors up front or front wheel drive and make a big race car out of them. So NASCAR has to modify whatever the Detroit comes out in order to make a race car out of it. So again, they're doing as much as they can to try to make the cars, especially with wheels and windows on the side and the back of the car, to look as much like a stock car as they can.
They're like far enough before Richard was old enough to drive. I guess the first race they had, Lee and the family drove the car to the race, and I think Lee tore all the pieces and they had to find a way home. But, going back to 1958, Lee won the championship. We drove the race car from Level Cross, North Carolina to Riverside, California, raced it and drove it home. And when I tell that story, people say, you mean you drove the car? They can't understand it, but we did with enough stuff in the car with us to, to run the race. So it's come a long way.
This is a question for both of you. Back in the day when you were running the cars, you didn't have the splitters and the spoilers and all that. How did you keep them on the ground? Because you were running fast back then.
Well, they stay on the ground a little bit anyway. The cars back in the 60s, the cars lifted. They didn't go down on the ground. And then I guess NASCAR looked at all the rest of the racing deal and all the racers did, and they said, okay, we got to have down for it. And now these cars run like 2 inches off the ground all the way around the racetrack with the downforce. So you don't have any lift like what we used to have. We used to have lift, and we just adjusted accordingly. And now they just nail them to the ground. And you know, a lot of times when they do that, it changes the racing altogether, because when you're in a draft, when you're by yourself, the car's getting all downforce. When you get in a draft, sometimes the car then is not got as much downforce. So that's the reason a lot of times when people catch people, they can't pass them. Used to it didn't make any difference as far as lifted, whether you were close to anybody or not, so then the driver made up the difference.
Richard, when you made the decision to get out of the car and stop driving, what was the final thing that made you decide it was time to find yourself another driver?
The sponsor said he wasn't going to pay me no more. No, you know, it was one of those deals where we were pretty good up to the mid-80s and stuff, and then even myself, I knew I was going backwards. You know, I wasn't gaining, I wasn't winning races, wasn't running up front that much. But the deal with me was driving the race car was a hobby. All this other stuff I did, working on the car, trying to keep Dale busy and all that stuff, that was the working part of it. On Sunday, I got in that car and by myself, and I could run fast if I wanted to, I could run slow if I wanted to. So it was a hobby. And so when the time came, I guess, I seen I wasn't going forward, wasn't going to do anything, and was still walking around, everything was working. The best thing to do is go ahead and get out of it while I was still pretty good health. And so from that standpoint, it took me, I've argued myself for probably a couple of years, knowing I needed to do it, and just not doing it, and then finally just make the decision. And I didn't want to be one of those guys that run and got out of it and then said, yeah, I want to go back and try it again. I'd rather, I overstayed my welcome to begin with, and I'm satisfied with that. Well, they have a big car show over in Goodwood, England, right out of London, and we took the 67 car that we won all those races with. We took it over there last year, and it's Lord, what's his name? Lord March. Lord March. Okay, he's got 36,000 acres or something over there.
16,000 acres.
Okay, somewhere close. And in his front yard, he's got got a road that comes into the house and goes all that into the woods. And so every year they have a big car show and stuff, and people run up the driveway more or less, and so you know, you can run fast, you can run slow, you know, whatever you want to do. So we just run slow and wave to people, so they won't tear the car up after all these years. But we're going back this year and we're going to take the Superbird. So you know, I don't guess they've ever seen a Superbird in me, so it's going to be a big show this year.
That Superbird was a big part of your career when you brought it in. It just nothing would touch it. What made the big difference when you came out with the Superbird?
Well, you know, when they come to the Superbird with the wing and stuff on the back, that's when they first really started working it downforce. It didn't have the spoilers underneath, didn't have that low to the ground, but it had the big nose on the front and the wing on the back, so they had a lot more downforce than what we'd ever had before. So, and the cars really handled good. I mean, almost impossible to spin one out with that wing and stuff on the back. And so it just changed the complexity of racing. Once Chrysler came out with Dodge, they had a Dodge like that, had a Plymouth, then everybody started looking at arrows. And so once they started looking at arrows, getting the downforce and stuff, then racing really changed from that standpoint. Up to that time, it was old-time racing, and that just sort of changed everything. In the early 70s, then they started looking at a different venue and doing it a different way.
Dale, what would you say was probably the biggest thing y'all ever disagreed about on a race car, and who won?
Oh, hey, you're putting something on me now. I don't know. we had some arguments and everything, but we was both trying to do the right thing, and I still say when I made a suggestion, he tried harder for his than I did than he did for mine. But you know, we got along real good. But you know what, he was talking about how long he had ran and everything. But a lot of people don't realize that they didn't let him run till he was 21 years old. You know, so and now they're legal at 18 in this series. But so he done a lot from 21 year old, from 21 on. You know, but. It was a long ride for him, and I was just glad to be a big part of it. You know.
We know that Eric Almirola is driving the 43 car now for you, Richard. What made you pick Eric? What was it about Eric that you decided you wanted to give him a shot at running the 43?
Well, we've seen Eric run, 3 or 4 years in the trucks nationwide at that time, Xfinity now. And he never really had a full ride. He'd run some, I guess, cup racing. But he'd run for somebody for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they'd put somebody else in it, or he'd replace some driver that was sick that week or something like that. He never had a steady ride, and done a pretty good job with what he was doing. And with his personality, which I think fits the Eddie Mole, family man, all this kind of stuff. And but I thought his ability was there, and just give him a chance. So I think it's proved out that once he got in the ride, he knew he had that ride. He could really work harder with it, and got to know the crew chiefs and the people that work with the cars. So he just coming off. And to me, he's still headed up in the right direction. He's still going forward. He's getting a little better every week or every year anyway. So, we're looking forward to what we can do for him. Right now, our cars are a little bit behind. It's up to us from RPM to give him a little bit better car, but I know he can do the job.
Dale, is that important to see a sprint driver drive in the Xfinity, and why do you have Eric running in that?
Well, yeah, I think it's a benefit to him because the part of the racetrack they're running on right now, they won't be racing on that. I think they'll be moving the group up and everything, and we run the same tires on that they'll run tonight or tomorrow night, and learning tires, that's a big part of the race. It don't wear the drivers out like it used to. I mean, they got the fire scared now, no disrespect to them, nothing like that. But from what we started with Richard, it's fairly easy, but the danger's still out there. But what's changed racing as much as anything over the years, we're talking about that, has been the safety factors. And there's still safety involved, but these cars are pretty well safe now, and our hats off for NASCAR doing that for everybody.
Richard, I run road courses. See, when I first started, there was a lot of dirt tracks. And so you got slung the cars and slid them and all that kind of stuff. And I think on a road course, it gives you a better chance to do that. Out here, if a car slides in and all, you've lost all kinds of speed. So a road course gives you a challenge that you didn't get just going around and around. You didn't change gears, you had to get the brakes. He's going left, he's going right, and so I think the driver was probably a little bit more important sometimes than maybe the car was. So, to get the car as good as you could, then it was up to the driver to get everything out of it. And a road course, I think, give you that experience. So like Marcus Ambrose was last year, he was great on the road course. He never figured out how to go round and round. But as far as going left and right, there wasn't anybody better. So just different people's got different skills. But I just like to run the road course just because it reminded me of a dirt tracks back in the old days.
Giving back to others with our Helping Hungry Homes program.
With you all with Smithfield, it's been great because y'all give back to the community with helping homes and stuff like that, and that's one of the deals, I guess, that we grew up with. We grew up out in the country, and a bunch of us was poor, and everybody sort of helped everybody, and then as we got lucky enough to go a little bit better than that, so we kind of try to give back to the community. you know, as far as helping their homes and helping the paralyzed veterans of America, because they're the ones that lets us be out here today. They sacrifice themselves and give us a chance to do what we're doing now. And then, you know, we lost Adam probably in 2000, I think. A couple of years after that, we started looking around and started building Victory Junction Gang Camp there in Level Cross, North Carolina. And so we started recruiting people to help us. Dale had never been on a bulldozer or backhoe, so he was loafing at that time. So we called him in. He worked 2 years over there, and just in the woods, just knocking down the woods, and, you know, carrying in roads and doing everything. So we started that dude, and I think this is going to be the 11th year. And it's for seriously and chronically ill kids that can't go to a regular camp of YMCA or church camp. And so far, just in the 10 years, we've seen 22,000 kids that wouldn't get a chance to go to any kind of camp like that. And it's all because of people like you all that donates money, because if the kid comes from Virginia and goes to Carolina, or comes from Oklahoma and comes to Carolina, it costs him nothing, it costs the parents nothing. We make sure they get there, they get them home, and they usually stay about, you know, 5 or 6 days, and then we send them back home. But it's a free camp, so, you know, we do everything we can to help these kids and give them a chance in life, and then you see them come and they've been in hospitals or they've been at home, and mom and dad says you can't do this, you can't do that. When they come to Victory Junction, they do all this stuff. They go swimming, they ride horseback, they go fishing, they go bowling, they've got zip lines they run. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff, and it just opens up a whole new world for them. So we thank you all for helping all the kids. Thank you all.
Folks, you've got two great racing icons here. We've also had people who do a great deal for the community and help out with their Victory Junction program. I think we're very fortunate here at Smithfield to have Richard Petty Motorsports be a part of our company, and we can be a part of them. Thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here.
Y'all have a good weekend, okay? All right.